We did have some sloppy times, but nothing we're having, and farmers are very anxious about it all, and
Not good for your mental well-being, I'm sure of it.
that is triple what they were 2 years ago. Hey at Woodlanders, welcome to another woodlog. Morning. Got a little brush cutting job over the back, so the field over the back of us. Chappie cuts it usually a few times a year, only his mower's broke. So of course we now have this huge great kind of hay meadow. I have got a flower mower for the back of the tractor, but I have not fixed it yet. So we're doing it with a brush cutter, which is going to be a bit of a laborious job, and I've picked the coolest day of the week. I was meant to be getting on with my outdoor kitchen on the backyard, but we're just going to stall it for a day, get this knocked off, and that was a bit of a major endurance test, but we've managed to get it done with my little Still FS 450. So his mower broke over on that ridge, and he'd done sort of down that side, but I've managed to do all this down here and then all this and up there. So anyway, I'm glad that's done. Put my tools away. I'm gonna have 5 minutes, I think. Chatting with Kevin this morning, he gets his bags from Selway, the same as the bags I've got, but I didn't realise, I thought he was buying the same size, but no, he's buying the larger Selway bags. What he does, he pre-measures the same amount from the box into the bags. So whereas I was trying to cram as much into a bag as possible, still getting exactly the same amount of charcoal in a box and a bag, but the bags do seem to look better even though they're not crammed full. I get it why people are buying the bags and not the boxes. It makes sense, because you just look at it and think, oh, there's more in that. Anyway, I think I'm going to stick with what I said. We've had some interesting comments on the YouTube channel on the last video, is to actually state the volume of the charcoal on the bag. Well, I've just dropped these off at Gardener's Bothy. They're going to stock our charcoal on a more permanent basis now, which is great news. Amazing weather for barbecues. And the next week is just the same, which is good news for us. Morning to you. Beautiful day again. I was away last week. We went down to the Forest of Dean, which I'd describe that as the sort of southwest-ish of England. It's on the borders of Wales, near Ross-on-Wye, near Gloucester. And what an absolute cracking week. And you know, you book a holiday to go somewhere in England, and the last thing you think about is we're going to get great weather. Sunny, take your coat. If it's raining, please yourself, kind of. That's how the British weather goes. We had the most amazing week weather-wise. It was nearly 30 degrees every day. I actually managed to enjoy the weather rather than baking in it. Anyway, this morning, this is my first day back at the Woodland for just over a week, and of course, with that hot weather spell that's been on the news, and it's been in all kinds of reports, farmers are very anxious about it all. And I mentioned in one of my last woodlogs that our trees that we planted are dying, and there's other trees that are failing. And it did make me think about this whole potential drought in the summers problem, and there's nothing you can do in a woodland really, not anything that's going to make a significant impact. You do get little things. You can try and keep the fire risk down maybe, and be a bit more sensible about when I do my charcoal burns. But if these things are going to keep coming, it has made me think about how I look after my small trees. Maybe this winter's project could be put a little bit of guttering on one of these side wings. That's, if I just turn your head around a minute. So those side wings over there that I've got against the storage unit, if I put guttering on those, and maybe put an IBC, which is I think they're 1,000 litre tanks. You don't want ones with chemical in, because that's rancid. I thought maybe if I just had one of those, then when it does come this dry spell again, I can actually go and water my young trees. I mean, it's a bit of a faff. And the other option after that is, which I did mention last time, is to try and mulch around at the bottom of each tree, the young trees, the new ones are planted, It's even maybe think about home as ways of storing water, so you can't stop these things from happening, the higher temperatures and the dry summers, but to try and mitigate the failures of things by storing water and just being a little bit more sensible about water storage and water usage. So rather than using fresh, clean drinking water out of a tap, is to use for feeding and watering and garden work and tree work and nursery work, is to use harvested water instead. So I hope you agree on that, and by all means, if you've got any tips on water storage and saving and water usage and being a little bit more sensible about that, but yeah, comment below. I'd be interested in what you've got to say on that, because it is a concern and it is something that's on our minds. So anyway, what I'll do is have a quick walk around this morning, show you the state of things. Not much has changed really, to be honest, but things are incredibly dry. I did notice that my hazel tree, so this is the cobnut, and that's still alive. Oops, sorry about that, but the leaves have gone and I don't think that's going to produce any buds. So this is looking pretty weak. We've got some slightly greener growth at the bottom, so hopefully that, but yeah, again, that's another one that's suffered. You see, hazel shouldn't look like that in the beginning of August. Things are incredibly dry. But on the whole, if you look round, the trees are very green still, but it must have stressed them no end. So the whole of July, hardly any rain at all. I don't know whether it's been the driest summer we've ever had, but it's certainly up there with being a very dry summer. And we had, for me, quite a dry winter. So the 2 winters before it was dreadful. I couldn't get on the land, I couldn't get in the woods, I couldn't get down here. This was just like slop. We'd even got standing water here. That was for the last 2 years, and I thought, oh, please don't let me this winter be the same. And it wasn't. We had some rain this winter. Nothing like the previous 2 years. It set us up bad really for the whole year. This whole year has been really, really dry. Dry spring, and now this hot spell in the summer. And that all has a pretty significant impact on the young stuff. Anyway, this woodlog will be a little bit different in that I'm mixing it with another video I'm producing about a little project I've got at home. My main project is going to be the roundwood timber framing, so I should be videoing for that. Right, let's go and get some work done. Morning. We've had a busy week so far. We've been timber framing, so that's part of another video series I've got on all about our outdoor kitchen project. We're back up the woods again this afternoon, but in other news, we've had rain. So that dry spell that's been going on and in the news and, oh yeah, causing a bit of a furore, has actually ended, and we have wet. And so this morning I've been video editing because it's been so wet. It's been pouring with rain, which is all good news, but just not very nice to work in. Oh look, slugs eating the lettuce. That's pretty gross, isn't it? Right, onwards and upwards. We will get going up the woods next. Made it. Took delivery of some more charcoal boxes this morning. It seems that the whole charcoal box story continues. I did a bit a couple of weeks ago about why people would select charcoal boxes and why people might prefer bags. Well, jury's still out on that one, but while the boxes are at the price they're at, because they are rocketing out of control, and 24 pence each, now 42 pence each, the most recent price increases have knocked them out at about 65 pence each, triple what they were 2 years ago. The boxes always used to be the cheapest option, and they are no longer the cheaper option. When you consider that the box is only a single-use item, you know, it gets the charcoal from A to B and then to the customer's home, 60p sounds a lot of money to me when you're just going to rip it up and throw it in the bin. Anyway, we've got enough now to last us a bit longer. Global packaging, they've been consistently good, very high quality box. I've had some cheap rubbish. These global packaging ones have been really good so far. The next mission for today is back onto our timber framing. I'll just show you a quick little snippet. I've got to start to scribe these 4 joints. So that one, that one, that one, and that one. We've got to scribe those, which is a complicated process, and I won't bore you with the details. If you want to watch that, then by all means watch the Roundwood Timber Frame Kitchen Project video, which will be live sometime soon, I guess. Since getting back from the holidays, I've been experiencing the holiday blues all over again. We had a pretty amazing week, red hot, perfect week, absolutely stunning bit of weather. Just one of the best holidays I've had for a long time, and I thoroughly enjoyed every day of it, to the point where I really did not want to come home at all. The holiday blues has got me again, and I don't feel like doing much. I don't feel like filming videos. I don't feel like talking to anybody. I don't know whether you do this, but when I'm on holiday, I tend to, you have time to think a bit, have a bit of a restock, re-evaluation. Where am I going? What am I doing? Am I enjoying what I'm doing? Is it working? Buzzards playing. It looks like the sweet chestnut has managed to escape the grip of the munkjack. All of this has been nibbled off, but it looks like we've actually finally got some stems growing, and have managed to get away from the munkjack continual nibbling. My holiday re-evaluation, the conclusion I've come to is I take on far too many things, far too many projects. I don't find fulfillment in some of them then, because I'm forever chasing to get one project finished so that I can get on to the next project, which really is not good for your mental well-being, I'm sure of it. You don't particularly enjoy the thing that you set out to do. One of my side hustles is I do enjoy a little bit of Lego, and I did some Lego while I was away on holiday. I've had this crane, I'm sure you're not interested, but I've had this crane for a long time. It takes up so much time for me to do it. This crane must have took me 12 hours to make. That's like a whole day gone. Whole day of my life for Lego, and everyone needs a pastime, something to escape from, so you can mentally readjust and refresh. But I'm not sure if I need 12 hours worth. And because I also like things like pine needle baskets, I want to be able to do a little bit with other craft projects, basketry maybe one day, or perhaps selling a few bits on Etsy again. I'd like to do that. And all of that, you see, can't be done when you're spending 12 hours on a Lego project. I've got some restructuring to do because I just can't do it all. Foolishly, as a fairly new YouTuber, you're constantly looking at the stats, because you're trying to get to the holy grail of monetization, which is where YouTube pay you this a few pence per video if you get advertising revenue, but you need 1,000 subscribers and you need 4,000 watch hours, and you've got to try and do that in 12 months. You get all a little bit hung up on this numbers game with who's subscribed and who hasn't, and how many watch hours you've got, and will the video be successful, and what other videos can I do, and you get all a bit bogged down with it all, to the point where it starts to think, well, is it worth doing this? And you sort of forget the reason that you've done it in the first place. Especially for me, I actually enjoy talking to you guys, getting some interaction, showing you what I'm doing at the Woodland, and just helping people understand what happens in a ultra small scale woodland with an ultra small scale woodsman style lifestyle. Enjoy all that. You can end up missing all of that and just concentrating on all these numbers. Last night I was chatting to some friends, and they were saying, oh, we were watching together your woodlogs the other day and we absolutely love it. And I says, oh, what were you doing? Laughing at me. And they said, no, we relaxed. There was nothing else on TV. We thought we'll watch yours, and we can't wait now for your next episode to come out. And I thought, so that really did me a power of good, because subscriber numbers have actually started to drop in recent weeks. I think due to the weather, people are outside doing other things. But anyway, I'm cooking on gas this morning. My holiday blues are still there, but I do feel like recording a little bit in front of the camera. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking to you. You are a thorough distraction, and I'm going to get on with some proper timber framing jobs.